actually bring up one point that I want to sort of go into a little bit more about this demo game that Spacestation seems to be going for, because there's one player on Cloud9 who should be hearing that and going, oh, I'm not going to have a good time here, because every single year I look for the same stat and the same player is at the very top of this stat. It is times demoed per game.
Wait, seriously? I'm so curious. I don't know this.
Is highest of this list
Torment
every single year. He is the target of the entire North American region. And I swear, Space Station Gaming has got a bullseye on him for this series.
That is very interesting. So the most demoed player is Torment.
He can take that. He's going to put it in his Twitter bio. It's going to be the greatest accomplishment.
That is a proper claim to fame. I mean, I don't know what, like, I don't know the full diagnosis for why Torment gets demoed so much. People always think Torment's the most aware and the most positionally skilled player on Cloud9. Maybe he needs to just pay attention to what's happening behind him a little bit more, sneaking in those demos from his blind spots. Space Station coming in today, even footing with Cloud9. Are they going to be able to take down the team that they have beaten in the past, but not with Arsenal?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is day number 2 of DreamHack Montreal. Across both streams, we've got 20 incredible series for you. There are going to be no complaints on the quantity of matches we have, but hopefully we're going to be able to deliver on the quality as well. As we are here with Space Station on the defensive side of the field against Squishy, and Cloud9 you would typically expect to dominate the aerial game throughout this series.
So I've heard that Squishy's now a Dominus main, which can only mean that he's going to be aerialing more. And I don't know if that's going to work out for Cloud9 or not. We've not seen them on stage yet this event. We're about to find out just how that affects their playstyle. And with Gimmick on your team, surely that's enough Dominus for at least 3 rosters.
It's a very spinny Dominus, typically. Arsenal will find the far corner, and so far in this game, it's been all Cloud9 on the offensive side. Space Station struggling to escape. They've finally done so, but not for too long. Cloud9 very relaxed pace at the moment. They're unchallenged as Torment tried to slot that one beneath the keeper.
The Squishy getting demoed there by AXB, and he's trying to leave the offensive half. Not a bad shot there as he comes back into the rotation. SSG are challenging every ball at the moment. They want to keep Cloud9 at bay. AXB's got a little bit of time. Gets it over Torment. And that's a double commit from Cloud9 in defense. Gimmick with a nice recovery, though. Not a bad pass as well. Torment's going to put it in. Nobody back for Space Station. And opening goal does go to Cloud9.
All right, we're going to put this down to typical positioning or Arsenal pass, because something went very, very wrong there.
Not an ideal shot for Space Station. I mean, they realized they had a chance to put the ball on net. But you've got to hit it a bit harder than that. You can't be slow rolling shots right at an opposition goalkeeper. Cloud9 will be taking those every day of the week.
It's going to be a clear into midfield. Cloud9 taking a goal from an immediate counter-attack. And look to try and make it 2-0. So meant to be able to take his time. Should be unchallenged for a while, but he's got Squishy to aim for. Squishy couldn't get it back down to him. But here's the typical thing that you see against a lot of teams that play against Cloud9. You have to, every single time you see Cloud9 go for anything, assume they're going to make contact, which means that when they actually do miss, sometimes that causes more chaos than when Cloud9 actually make contact.
I firmly believe that's one of Cloud9's biggest strengths on LAN, is people respect their aerial capabilities so much that they give them maybe a little bit too much space, and other times they're just panicking, like pre-jumping and flying in front of where they think the ball is going to go, and then a whiff comes in and tears them apart. Nice demo by Arsenal on Torment. Something we do expect based on what the desk were talking about earlier. And Shogun statistics. There's a goal equaling the match from Arsenal. And there was no demo, but there was some pressure onto the Cloud9 goalkeeper.
Yeah, Gimmick had no choice but to jump as quickly as he possibly could. And it's a difficult thing to time on the offensive side about getting the jump and making sure the shot's going to be coming in an angle that the jumping keeper can't make it to, but Space Station managed to get it right. 1 each now. Very, very impressive game 1 from both teams. Nothing earth-shattering, but definitely both teams connecting with the fundamentals. And after some of the gameplay that we did see on stream yesterday, I think fundamentals is sort of something that was missing an awful lot. What a dive-in save from AXB.
It's really good stuff. He wants to play the ball there as fast as he can, just to give his goalkeeper more time to think about what he has to do should the shot come in. You know, Spacestation, if they can keep on forcing Cloud9 to reveal their plan like that, you know, get in early, get Cloud9 to hit the last touch on the ball before they're just a couple of yards away from the goal, Spacestation are going to make things very difficult for Cloud9 to keep scoring.
There's a point that you did bring up yesterday, Johnny, about how when players do go to the air and they are air rolling, it's not just for fanciness, it is typically used to disguise as well as get a better angle on the shot. Gimmick's definitely one of those players.
Yeah, he's just...
I've even seen the one that probably made it popular, and now everyone else is catching up to Gimmick.
Yeah, certainly one of the players who popularized the, you know, just getting up into the air as fast as possible, as early as possible, both to cause panic on the opposition side, but also to get moving towards the ball and then just air roll your way into position. Because sometimes you don't take off in the perfect angle, but that's not a problem if you can air roll as well as Gimmick can. Well, you're going to get there pretty quick anyway.
A lot of people that do try and challenge Gimmick when he's going for those is that you never quite know what he's going to go for. You never know if he's going to hit it properly or if he's going to try and force the challenge in midair.
Yeah.
And because he is doing those air rolls, you can't quite stop him. And I'll tell you what you can't stop either. This absolute boomer of a shot from Arsenal.
Yeah, he's just drilled it in. AXB, a couple of good touches in the midfield. First to clear the ball and then to center it. Spacestation Gaming following close. They're actually attacking with their second man much more aggressively than Cloud9 are. Cloud9's sitting quite deep at the moment. I don't know if that's something we're going to see for the entire series. I would be surprised if they do. I mean, they're not looking as confident moving forward as a team like G2 were yesterday. We just saw them all going in one after another.
Torment forced to play it to the side, but they need to try and transition to the orange side of the field right now. Gimmick can't get it anywhere further than AXB. Arsenal back to his teammate, fakes out one, more time wasted, couldn't get it past Torment, but job done.
It certainly looks that way. The ball just has to drop, and it will. So one game lead to Spacestation Gaming. That is certainly a surprise because these guys got swept by Reno Vitality yesterday, and we all know how much Reno Vitality have been struggling in competition as of late. Cloud9, although they haven't been at their dominant self, I would certainly put them above Reno Vitality in the power rankings at the moment. And teams you expect to do well at a tournament like DreamHack. So Spacestation really starting strong here. Cloud9, they need to level up or catch Spacestation sleeping later on in the series, which I don't think is going to happen. Spacestation just looked routine there. They didn't play in a level that I don't expect to see from them again. I would not be surprised if they can actually elevate their gameplay.
Well, for Cloud9, we look at them every single season, and every RCS season, they seem to have one loss that you sort of look at and say, that probably shouldn't have happened. But apart from that, very typically a team that will beat every team ranked below them.
Yeah, so consistent in matchups exactly like this one.
Unfortunately for them, they're against the team that has got that most recent RLCS surprise win. Spacestation Gaming looking to double up on their tally. We're over to Utopia. And currently Spacestation, I mean, like I said, very fundamental Rocket League, but they're playing the situations perfectly. They don't seem like they're panicking. And overall, just a very, very happy performance from game one. Yeah,
Cloud9 don't look confident. I mean, they're not playing as aggressively as they usually do. That's a very poor shot from Torment. Spacestation Gaming getting away with some lackadaisical defending. And look at Sipical, gets it past two. Luckily for Cloud9, the third man was able to hold it down. Their defense has fallen apart again for Spacestation Gaming, but the ball goes just hopelessly over the crossbar. No chance for Cloud9 to follow up. Look where they're headed. They're all the way back into their own half. Looking to hit Spacestation on the counter-attack, it would seem.
Another double commit. AXB takes his time. Chooses to try and pop. Unchallenged for a while, but Squishy just tears that one away from the bumper of the car.
Yeah, it's a perfect challenge there from Squishy. Nice and early, giving no chance for anything cheeky like a flip reset to be occurring. Makes life very easy for Torment and Gimmick. Even if the ball does go over Squishy's head there, they're probably going to have it cleaned up, no problem.
Arsenal tries to play downfield. Torment knows got plenty of time. Does boom downfield over to Gimmick. Well-placed pass, but XB, wow, always able to get there. That was incredibly quick, and that's a sense we've been repeating over the last 6 minutes. Spacestation Gaming just seemed to have read every single play that Cloud9 are going for. And Cloud9, I feel like we're actually missing some individual plays from them. They've always been too heavy on the passing to the point where you just sort of look where the ball is, look where the other player is, and figure out the direction from there.
Well, they're trying to get their passing plays going, but nobody really setting up to receive a pass close to the goal. Now they do, and they score. That's better. Cloud9 actually utilizing all 3 players in offense. It's one of the first times that they've done this all series long, and they profit from it. I think if they can replicate the positioning that we just saw, they could definitely be scoring a lot more goals.
So a lot of setup work that does go in, though, to that sort of position, but if they can pull it off, definitely might be the right option to go for. Space Station down a goal. They're used to this position, however. We're able to make a comeback in the last game. XB can't quite come out of the challenge. It's going to be up to Arsenal. Does leave it for Typical instead, who's been more than happy to go for these draw plays. Gets plenty of territory for his team. Leaves space open for Arsenal. Up on the wall. Gimmick. Yet another solid challenge. Cloud9, they've picked their spots so far in defense. They've come out pretty well every single time.
They're very close, actually, to conceding another goal because of a demo in that last exchange, though, and they do have to be careful. I mean, the desk talked about this before the match started. That is a focus for Spacestation Gaming. They're not afraid to take a little bit longer in offense, steal a boost, get a demo and a goalkeeper. And, you know, other teams might rotate immediately back to defense as soon as they're out of position. Spacestation, they trust each other to back each other up and give the offensive position player more time in attack, cause some disruption for Cloud9 before rotating back.
Cloud9 are in a very good spot right now, where as they do enter the last 2 minutes, you would expect them to start taking the ball to the air more often, though Torment,
oh no,
with an atrocious touch, lays it straight over to Typical.
This is a really risky challenge, actually, for SSG, but it works out because Torment has just panicked in defense. He had so much time. He could have brought the ball down or tried to offload it to the side, but no, soft clear straight down the middle. That is really amateur mistake for a player like Torment to be making.
The point I was about to make is that Cloud9 are very good when they've got a lead in the last 2 minutes of just wasting a lot of time, get a play of 100 boost into an air dribble, and just see the clock tick down, but a very uncharacteristic mistake from Torment. That's going to bounce over to Arsenal, 2-1, and Cloud9 have seen this game slip from their hands.
They're just getting outpaced. That's Typical in the midfield, winning a race to the ball, and he was not far off scoring there. No one on Cloud9 close to Arsenal in terms of speed, reacting to the rebound. And it looks like Cloud9 just getting a little bit outpaced here. They're consistently getting at least matched for speed or even beat to the ball straight up by Spacestation Gaming.
Squishy for the double tap, over to Gimmick.
Nicely done.
They'll be very happy to have got that back as quickly as they did.
Yeah, this was a nice setup by Squishy. You know, just like the goal we saw at the other end, there is someone close to the ball. This time, Spacestation Gaming have a goalie, but they're not ready to attack the ball when it bounces off a surface near the goal. A problem for both teams, it would seem.
Well, this game is worth an awful lot for Cloud9. They drop this, they've got to win 3 in a row against Spacestation Gaming. And Spacestation Gaming that haven't really been that full of mistakes. Gimmick powers downfield, and I don't think anyone's going to get to this.
What? All right.
What a hit.
Well, it's a great hit by Gimmick. Very careless from Spacestation to hit a shot so softly. I mean, it reminds me of the first goal they conceded in Game 1. It's less a shot and more a pass to the Cloud9 goalkeeper. Also, not having somebody far enough back to catch up with it. You combine a couple of mistakes such as these, you're definitely going to be in trouble. So just a minute now for Cloud9 to try and hold on to this lead. They weren't able to do so for any of the other leads that they've established this series so far. Spacestation Gaming have been creating chances with consistency. Let's see if they can get one more and make this game a little bit more interesting.
Typical. And as far as Gimmick, yet again, Cloud9 have lost, regained, and then tried to make this one a 2-goal lead.
What?
Somehow bounced that one off the post. Spacestation Gaming still in this one.
It's pretty fortunate. I mean, that was almost an own goal by accident from Spacestation Gaming. 20 seconds left. They do collect the ball in their own half. Cloud9 look a little bit queued up for the ball, and nobody's actually coming from a good angle. Miss from Space Station allows Cloud9 clear. Looks like they're set to win game 2 here and tie up the series.
Torment chooses to play it around. They want it to hit the floor. As soon as it does, it will be 1 each. Squishy gets up unchallenged. Looks for the tap down. It's not quite happening for him. Arsenal bounces it on.
Oh, there's a chance, actually. AXB wins the race, and that is coming across. Squishy will be back for it. And there's the grounded pass from Cloud9. They handled the pressure at the end of that game pretty well.
It is day 2, Johnny, and we already have standing space.
That is a packed out crowd. It's good to see all of you guys here to watch some Rocket League. It's just going to be great games for the entire day. You don't have to wait until the final day of DreamHack to see our LCS teams taking each other out. But just to remind you guys, this is double elimination groups, just like yesterday. So this being the first round will not send anybody home. But if you lose in this round 1 of the group stage, you need to win 2 in a row just to make finals day tomorrow, and you'll only get a second seed if you do.
Yeah, definitely going for on the upper bracket gets you an easier match.
Potentially,
I believe even the audience could hear me doing the quotation marks on that one. This was certainly an interesting game. A lot of very sloppy goals being given up. Cloud9 would be happy to come out on the right side of it. But over a minute and a half, we went from 1 each to 3-2.
We've got tight matches in the other series that are happening right now for Group A. Rogue versus Mouse Sports, 2-2.
Which is currently happening over on the B stream as well.
Yeah, if you can, be sure to open up DreamHack Rocket League on the squad stream. You can watch both. And we've got Dignitas tied up with Plot Twist, 1 game apiece. NRG have already swept Lotus. But that is all your results for the time being. Let's get back into Cloud9 versus Space Station Gaming.
There is no easy way through on day 2. Gibbs was saying earlier on that this is probably his favorite day of the tournament, because everyone that is left in the tank is a shark. Here's AXB off the backboard, only as far as gimmick. Always expect somebody on Cloud9 to be positioned on that backboard, ready to take over. But it's been an interesting shout here, because if you were to say how is Space Station going to win this, you would actually have said it probably would have to be a 3-0 sweep just so they can maintain that level of momentum throughout the entire series. Now that they've lost a bit of it, now that they've dropped a game, we're going to be able to really see some of the metal come from this team.
I could see them going the distance and succeeding. This does look like a very even matchup so far, partly because Cloud9 are not as threatening. They're not as mechanically brilliant yet, compared to what we're used to seeing from them, but also Space Station, they're playing confidently. They are throwing themselves in for challenges, not giving Cloud9 any time on the ball. That's making life difficult for the crowd favorites.
Bounce up. AXB's already there. He decided to stick around, and that would have been one of the more difficult shots we've ever seen pulled off. Twisting and turning up in the air, but couldn't quite make contact.
It's going to be hard to put power on that one, of course, but AXB was unable to get any touch on the ball. Of course, when you're trying to send the ball back the way that you've just flown from, you need to hit it perfectly, and that's why he's ended up missing. He was deciding, well, I'm either going to hit this perfectly or not at all, because nothing worse than dropping it down slowly to a Cloud9 goalie. You know, they've made that mistake a couple times already this series and conceded as a result.
Nice little tap across, moves the ball away from Squishy, but Torment comes in and steals some boost. That's going to make life a little bit more difficult for Space Station. Typical to the far side. Squishy will be far and away the first one there, but as you mentioned, Johnny, Space Station Gaming, they are not afraid to dive in for a challenge. But it's good whilst it works, and that is a great challenge. Prevents Squishy from getting on target. Cloud9 moving forward, but finally, Space Station can escape.
It's good to see Space Station playing with this level of confidence, though. It's not, you know, uncommon to see teams match up against Cloud9 and go in there so fearful to attack Cloud9 in the air, and try and go into a mechanical battle against them. The Space Station are doing that, and they're succeeding.
You were mentioning earlier on about how Cloud9 haven't quite been able to show how mechanical they are throughout this series, and Space Station Gaming deserve a lot of credit for that, because you can only be mechanical if you have time to get 2 touches.
Precisely.
Space Station are almost insulted by the first touch.
Well, they won't let Cloud9 have any time on the ball. And, you know, so far the Squishy Dominus switch seems to be leading him into more precise plays. We're not seeing him play as fast as he usually does. You know, they're a little bit more surgical, perhaps, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if they can get the win here, then it's definitely going to be applauded and seen as a great move. But they have not yet done that. Spacestation Gaming, every bit they're equal for the time being.
Nice little pass across, but Squishy, nice tap up. Gets his second touch, gets bumped though. Might recover. Almost landed directly on, but Gimmick's got plenty of time. Trying to force a challenge. Cloud9 looking to lock in this final third, but Space Station again. Fearless on the defensive side. They've transitioned, they shoot!
Oh.
And Torment has to react quickly.
Well saved by Torment. Was going to be a pretty tricky shot to put on target with pace. Credit to Space Station again. Every time Cloud9 attack them, they are putting in early challenges. That's preventing Cloud9 from getting close to the goal. Scoring easily. Still got a minute and 11 seconds to do so. Really hard to decide who's got the advantage as the ball sitting fairly evenly. The orange and blue sides of the field. We just see another, crazy long rotation back from Arsenal just to demo a goalkeeper at a random time. No boost though for Arsenal in defense. This is awkward, and he can't get a good touch on the ball, but look at where it's bounced. Cloud9 can't put it in.
Gimmick follows up for another shot. Once again, pushed away. Squishy onto the wall. Has he got any boost this time? Doesn't look like it. Trying to force a challenge. Arsenal was not fully aware. Typically would have rammed his car into that a little bit harder. But just needed to respect the possibility that Squishy had any sort of resource to work with. But with 30 seconds left in a game that will give one of these teams match point. It is all to play for. Sipical takes a shot. It's already onto the far side. Arsenal might have an infield option. Instead, plays it up to the corner.
Lots of 50-50s being utilized from Space Station Gaming just to get the ball moving quickly. They want to try and use that to their advantage. One more chance perhaps, but it's Cloud9 who have the advantage territorially. That's not a bad center ball from Squishy. It's going to bounce clear. Torment has an option to pass. He chooses to send the ball into the backboard. Gimmick trying to keep this one alive, but it will go into the ground for an overtime.
Here we go. Space Station Gaming look to try and get one step closer to the upset. Cloud9, however, looking more and more confident. AXB on the ceiling. He's got the double commit. Squishy has got contact, but it's going to leave one person left. There was a demo, and Squishy had to recover in time because Gimmick was wiped out.
Space Station Gaming doing what they do best. Cloud9, hold on. Great recovery by Squishy in defense. Of course, all of Squishy's recoveries seem to be so fluid. If we saw him land on anything except his wheels, it would certainly be a surprise. Oh my goodness, that's off the bar and down. Nobody's there for Space Station. Squishy with a flip reset attempt, but it can't follow up on it. It's bounced away from him. Space Station Gaming hang on for now, but that was a little bit of help from the crossbar.
Well, we know Cloud9 can come through in the clutch. What have Space Station got? Gimmick's going to be forced to try and rotate back here. First touch, very light actually. I think he threw off a lot of Space Station off, but he doesn't quite know how to follow it up. It's dropped down for Sipical! Oh, what a save! Torment keeps his team in!
And it's gone to the other side of the field now. Squishy trying to rebound in middle, but there's Arsenal. Crazy stuff here. Space Station Gaming the closer of the two teams to scoring, but Torment's heroics on the goal line keep Cloud9 alive. And now they have a chance to win it all. And it's Torment with the top corner finish. What a carry from the man in the middle.
Well, he was the Season 6 World Championship MVP, and he pulls out an MVP performance in Game 3. Torment goes from savior to scorer. What a Game 3.
Brilliant stuff here. This is the first match of Day 2, Shogun. We're already seeing nail-biting games. Credit to Space Station Gaming. I don't think they're going to change their plan going into Game 4 because what they're doing is definitely working. Cloud9 have had to step up. And they did step up, but will they be able to continue? Will Torment be able to keep on playing this well? Good thing for Cloud9 is that whenever Torment does play well, they win majors. So this is great stuff for them in the middle of this tournament. Just some other news for you guys. Mouse have managed to beat Rogue in that matchup. Very convincing in Game 5. So that one will be over. That sends Rogue down to the lower bracket to play against Lotus. Mouse move on to face NRG. We're still waiting to see what will happen on this bottom side of the group. Cloud9 versus Space Station swinging into Cloud9's favor. Ding Test versus Plot Twist is just as close over on the B stream.
Yep, 2-2 over there in game. They're currently in overtime, and I almost finished off just there. I recommend you guys go and take a look at that. We were having a little bit of a watch.
Goal almost happening as Shogun's mid-sentence, but let's get back into Cloud9 Space Station. It's game number 4. Cloud9 could take it here with one more win. Space Station, they're only interested in one thing. It's upsetting the crowd favorites.
Well, they are going to have to do it over here on Aquadome. Squishy's recovery actually not that amazing. Gives plenty of time for Sipical, who chooses to play low. Space Station, they've kept it close, but they are on a 2-game losing bounce. Need to turn it around, need to grab the next 2, otherwise they will be dropped down to the lower bracket, which is just, that's a horrible place to be.
Last chance.
Squishy, oh, he's absolutely rinsed him! Able to recover just in time, and Squishy gets a demo to show off his frustration.
That's a brilliant save by Space Station. Squishy with a brilliant mind game at the near post. I must say, I love the way that Space Station dribble the ball out of defense. They're not giving Cloud9 any opportunities to get big challenges on them, and he dunks over the top because they just like to push the ball out. Looking for 50-50s if they have to. And if they don't, you know, if they can see an opening round the side, they'll go for that instead. And I love that because Cloud9 are struggling to tackle these dribbles. That's not something you're used to.
A drop down from Arsenal. Sipical in no position to try and follow up. And it's going to be Sipical to AXB. That's not a great entry point, though, for AXB. Did not have the right angle to get much power on the shot. But starting us off, Space Station Gaming getting a lot of the offense. Arsenal did need to come through on that one very well, though. 90 seconds in. No goals to speak of. That might be able to change. Sipical looks for the backboard, and that was almost lazy from Gimmick. He actually just popped that one straight out. Arsenal taking out Squishy. AXB just doesn't seem like a Space Station have quite got an idea in check before they hit the ball, and they're sort of making up as they go along. It's giving a lot of time for Cloud9 to react.
The Space Station are still probing. They're trying to find the weakness. Arsenal's idea on the last attack, just hit the ball high and then try to kill as many people as possible before the ball arrives in the box. But Cloud9 might be scoring here off an own goal, and it is, in fact, going to bounce in. Space Station with the last touch on this. I think it was Arsenal. A difficult read of his own crossbar, and although the touch was necessary, it wasn't particularly effective.
So now Space Station have dropped down. This is a must-win game for them. And that is not the way they want to do it. They have just kept it close this entire time, but that is no way to pull yourself back into this series. And will that give Cloud9 the last bit of confidence required to get them over the line here?
I mean, we were wondering, would Space Station be able to maintain their level of play throughout a 5-game series? Well, that mistake would indicate no, and so with this one, it's really falling apart now for Space Station. Really slow shot from Gimmick, but it's gone in because AXB has just fallen off the post. I don't think he planned to dodge there, but one of his wheels was not touching the ground, so dodge he will.
I think he pre-jumped.
He didn't make contact, didn't even come close, so Space Station with a couple of embarrassing defensive plays. Now they've got to come back, and they've only got 2 minutes to do it.
Yep, and it's 2 minutes that they've got to find some sort of form. They've really not got much of anything going so far this game. AXB, he's got plenty of time, but he needs to get this on target. Oh! He will do exactly that.
Super long range double touch from AXB. He's hit the first touch inside his own half, but well done to manage his boost effectively. The feathering was perfect. And Cloud9 beaten in the air in a straight up race to the ball. So many times this series, Space Station have been able to do that. That's not something you see every day.
Very common at all. Torment needed to find the target. Another one on the other side, and finally, you hit it right, you hit it left. Squishy finds the middle.
And that's a shame for Torment. His assist has just gone to waste here because Gimmick misses. So no points for Torment on that play. So that's a shot perhaps for his own contribution. You see smiles there from Cloud9. I think they know they probably should have scored that before they all touched the ball. But I do like to see them all moving forward together. We're seeing a lot of success from teams like G2 and teams like Mouse recently who are willing to attack with all 3 players. Oh, hold on a second. Arsenal's actually just going to score here. It looked like Cloud9 would be able to knock this into the bar. Torment has been so good defensively all series long. That was the last touch, but look at that bump from Arsenal, preventing Torment from making contact. 1-goal game again.
Well, it's a sort of play that when you run into it in ones, you're so annoyed because it's very difficult to counterplay. The car that is coming towards you is pretty much shielding the ball. You're pretty much forced to take contact.
Personally, I love it. I love seeing the air dribble bumps, pop bumps. Any goal involving a bump is always entertaining to watch. You get a lot of reactions from players on stage as well, which is not something you see too often from Cloud9. I think they're starting to come out of their shells more recently. Let's see if Space Station Gaming can bump them enough that they even get tilted. That would be a sight to behold.
We've got 1 minute and 10 left on the clock here. Space Station need to find one more goal. Arsenal called off. Cyprical, he's got AXB on the backboard. Can AXB get it back to him? What a play! What a save!
Gimmick landing on the ball perfectly. That was incredible from Space Station. We wondered, how are they going to make this one close with all these misplays in defense? Well, they're going to do it by outplaying Cloud9's offense.
Absolutely unreal stuff here. Cloud9, again, that's probably the third time we've seen a phenomenal play come out from Space Station, where somebody on Cloud9 just miraculously holds the ball away. Infield pass, not something that Arsenal could run onto. It was too deep. And now with 30 seconds left, Cloud9 holding on by hook or by crook, but still, some way, they've got the lead still.
Aerial 50-50 looking strong for Arsenal, and he gets a bump afterwards as well. Torment forced in as the last man. He makes sure to hit the ball solidly. 13 seconds for Space Station Gaming. They've been impressive. They've made Cloud9 work for this, but Cloud9 seem to have worked hard enough, and they're about to receive their reward, and that will confirm the win. Squishy makes it impossible for Space Station to come back.
What a series this was. And it could have been oh so very different if it wasn't for an unreal goal line save by Squishy.
They saw Torment in the last game as well, same thing.
It's got to be the most annoying
Space Station
in
on the goal line. That's a huge relief for Cloud9 because they know how well Space Station just played. And they know that, I mean, that's not how Cloud9 want to be winning games. They don't want to have to make goal line saves on really nice setups from their opponents, but they'll take it, and that will continue their undefeated streak of this tournament. 3 wins in a row. They're advancing now to play against the winner of Plot Twist versus Dignitas, which looks like is about to go into a Game 5 over on the B stream, so you can check that out at DreamHack Rocket League 2 on Twitch. But we'll be right back on the main stream after this quick break to chat to Cloud9 about that win.